and gentlemen, glad to have you on board with us. Season 2, episode 21 of Campus Gridiron. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, it is National Championship Week, and we will get into recapping last week's games, giving our full insight on Ohio State versus Notre Dame next Monday at 7:30. You won't want to miss it. This is shaping up to be one of the more competitive national championship games. Lennon, remember last year when we're trying to hype up Washington? Could they really match up against Michigan? It's none of this pulling some string stuff. Both of these teams are legit. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into some various topics. A lot of quarterback news going around, including Quinn Ewers, Drew Aller, and the son of a future Hall of Fame quarterback. We'll get into that and much more. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not waste any more time. We're going to begin with the game that, of course, happened first last week, and that was Notre Dame defeating Penn State 27-24. Walk-off field goal by Derek Mitch Jeter. Oh, my goodness. I mean, he absolutely drilled that thing with room to spare. This game came down to which quarterback was going to be more clutch, Drew Aller or Riley Leonard? And in the end, it ended up being Riley Leonard.
Yeah, dude, it's Penn State football for you, man. They finally had it, and they lost the game in the most Penn State way. So I've said it after the game. I said it's crazy how much more likable Notre Dame is now that Brian Kelly's gone. And James Franklin has to be the most cursed coach of all time because he just can never be so good. And then he plays Michigan, Ohio State, and apparently Notre Dame and just can't beat him. But that was the better of the two games, in my opinion, honestly. I knew it was going to be close. You had two really even teams, and Penn State gave a good fight. But Notre Dame's offense did a little bit better. And that's why the Irish are playing the Buckeyes Monday.
Nah, Riley Leonard. I never really believed in Notre Dame until this game. I thought they were gonna lose this game too, and then all of a sudden Notre Dame just became this team that's like, we're here too, we can win, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
they're a good team.
Yeah, we didn't believe in
pointed out on his Instagram story. And by the way, that was Drew coming up with the title. I just followed suit with the Notre Lame roast after they lost to NI. I hear it. That was Drew's idea. I just went along with it.
Yeah.
But realistically, we got to talk about Marcus Freeman real quick, because here's a guy who was on the hot seat after losing that game to developing this very strong defense and this very reliant running game. And now Notre Dame is in the national championship for the first time in 11 years. And even though they did lose in very humiliating fashion at home, it doesn't seem like that's really a blemish right now. This is a completely different team than we saw back in September.
Yeah, and it shows just how good of a coach he is to be able to bounce back from that really, really, really bad loss at home, like week 2. Now, getting week 2, they're still kind of figuring things out, right? You're not really – but even still, like, there was no reason Notre Dame should have lost that game. But they bounced back, and they've been flying under the radar until the playoffs, and they've just exploded. But now they got to go into the best team in college football. Notre Dame's the second best. Now they got to play the best. So this hopefully lives up to the expectations, because we've had 3 blowouts in a row for the national championship game. So we need to get a good one. I think we'll get a good one, though.
I mean, it'll certainly be better than 65-7.
Let's hope so.
Max Duggan
went
from starting in the national championship game to starting in the UFL this March. So it shows you how fat, and TCU in general, how great they once were. Even Washington last year, losing to Louisville in their bowl game. I mean, it shows you if you don't take advantage of winning while you're in the spotlight, your program's going to suffer a little bit. TCU and
Mhm.
Washington being the two primary examples of that.
Yeah. Now, like, if the what happened meme started from when Max Dugan, it would have got bad. It would have been bad.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
boy.
at least Michael Penix is on the NFL roster making money, so or more money than Max Duggan is, but
Making a Walmart salary playing spring football in front of 4,000 people.
hey, I mean, yeah.
You know what? If you keep the dream alive, you keep the dream alive. I guess that's one way of doing it. So of course, Notre
Dream wants to
Dame.
play football. He's doing that. So
No, you can't discredit him for what it's worth. And speaking of discrediting, I'm going to completely discredit Texas's offense because outside of the fourth quarter and overtime against Arizona State, Texas's offense has not looked good in about a month. And we knew their struggles late in the year, barely getting past Vanderbilt and whatnot. I think they only scored 24 in that one. Now Marcus Golden declared for the draft. So you kind of knew this Texas team's going to start to take a little bit of a step back the longer the season went along. Now, obviously, Quinn Ewers was not and has not been the same quarterback since suffering that injury back in October. But Texas, for the most part, was ranked number one throughout the first, 6-7 weeks. Mm-hmm. And ever since their loss to Georgia, it felt like they just never recovered from that loss, and they were coasting along on an easier schedule. And then you run into the buzzsaw as the Ohio State Buckeyes, and you lose a game that seemed pretty winnable.
Sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
I'm going to elaborate a little bit what Grant said about Texas' offense. Texas' offense looks good until they get into the red zone. Yes. They hit that red zone, and they just stall out. And it's kind of weird.
Oh, my God, they have Press Taylor syndrome. Where have I talked about that on this channel before? Anyways.
Yeah, Texas, I figured the game because they're both teams where we all know what we're getting with Ohio State, right? They've had that one bad loss to Michigan, but ever since then, they've played pretty much lights out. Mm-hmm. Texas, if they're on, they're competitive and they're really good. And it was all about what Texas team's going to show up. And apparently the Texas team that can't score in the red zone showed up. So Texas had them right there with the chance to tie the game late in the fourth quarter, and a fumble. And that was the nail in the coffin for the Buckeyes. But maybe now they can move on from Ewers in a way, I guess. And you got Arch Manning, who should be, if they can develop him properly, he should be one of the best quarterbacks in the league pretty soon. So we'll see. I'm not surprised though. Texas, you can't. You guys will never be back. So it's oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Something I liked about Ohio State is that Texas did a good job slowing down Jeremiah Smith, but they have so many other weapons that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they did. I was very impressed with how they kept Jeremiah Smith intact, and that's going to be key for Notre Dame Monday too. But again, they have so many. Ohio State has so many weapons on offense. Like you just have to play a perfect game defensively. And we'll see what Texas defense kept them in the game, and their offense just could not capitalize when they needed to.
Yeah.
And that was the deciding factor in this one.
That was a lingering factor, too, because it was Texas's defense that primarily kept them in the lead against Arizona State. Now, the thing is, once the defense collapsed for Texas's offense kind of woke up out of that slumber. And Ohio State was realistically the best defense Texas has played since that Georgia game back in the regular season and even in the SEC championship game. And, overall, you just knew something was off from the beginning. And again, Quinn Ewers not playing up to his caliber. This was the man who was the clear-cut number one pick in the 2025 NFL draft heading into this year. Since then, he's probably dropped down to about fourth or fifth in the QB ranking. Obviously, with Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, and in my opinion, Jackson Dart taking that leap over Quinn Ewers. Then again, it comes back to, well, how much did that injury he suffer affect him during the season? Texas's offense, granted against weaker opponents like UTEP, but Arch Manning did look good in limited playing time. So now you're going to give him the keys to the offense next year. I expect Texas to do at least just as good as they did this year.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be fun. I mean, being a Giants fan, obviously, I hope the kid does well because he is the nephew of the greatest quarterback of all time. But,
okay.
No,
I might give you third, but...
Oh, my God, he's the third best quarterback in his family anyway.
That's a lie, but okay.
He better than Cooper.
Okay, that's... No, whatever.
That ain't much.
It don't matter. He's still better than him.
Oh, yeah, no, but I do want Arch to do good. And Texas I've never really hated them. Like, they're just a team I kind of, okay. But now they're in the SEC, so now I kind of have to hate them.
Fair enough.
Now they're a conference rival, so now we got to, at least we play them at home next year. So, but yeah, I think Arch, should I get to see Arch Manning play in person if he's not hurt? That's awesome. I can't wait for next year.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, because they go to the swamp. Makes sense.
Yeah. But I hope he does really good.
Like, I love that.
Yeah. I got to see Jackson Dart, too. That was freaking amazing. Even better, Florida won. But, like, even if he lost, I get to see a freaking...
Even if that was the game that may or may have not absolutely destroyed Jackson Dart's reputation in the draft, it was fun. It was fun to see him.
Yeah.
I'm just happy Miami got Carson Beck. Like,
and we will talk about that. We will be talking a lot about the transfer portal. You know what's funny? Me and Mike, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun because one of his favorite quarterbacks transferred to his favorite team, and my favorite running back in all of college football, he transferred to, well, at least we hope, will be a national championship contender next year. So, and my favorite quarterback in the FCS also transferred. So we're going to have fun with the transfer portal segment after we do our national championships. But before we even get into our national championships, it's the last episode, if you will, besides next week and the draft in March. This is like a prelogue to the last episode, meaning we said screw it, and we're doing not Jersey of the Week, not Jersey of last week, Jersey of the Year. And I think this is the clear-cut winner throughout college football. From FIU, it is none other than the Florida Vine uniforms.
Oh, dude, I love the Miami Vice. Even the Miami Heat's Miami Vice jerseys are freaking clean. I mean, FIU, I think they lost in them, but even then, like, these are just the pink and the blue. I call it cotton candy with the pink and the blue, but I agree. Granted, didn't tell us he was doing this, so like, So, but no, you did a really good job. That is, I honestly totally forgot about those two. But he does just, I almost want one. Like, that's how.
It got Vice on the helmet. It has the palm trees on the pants, as you see there. It also has some palm trees on the shoulder pads. Super cool. This was their second rendition of this. Last year, they had the all-black uniforms, which also probably would have won Jersey of the Year last year if we did this. But this year, they came out with the all-white ones. That is more familiar to, like, the Miami Heat look. And I think they absolutely knocked it out of the park. It incorporates the pink, the white, the blue, and it really stands off as South Florida, and it looks really nice.
It looks very clean.
And the white feels great in the 1,000-degree weather in September.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, man. Yeah, dude. Those
I'm telling you, bro, I brought a lot of back clothes to Jamaica one time. Not fun.
Yeah, no, dude.
It was not fun.
Dude, it's so bad. Yeah, I did that in Mexico one time. That was also really, really, really fun.
People are nuts. I was wearing black and, like, Northern Florida for a day, and I was dying. Anyways,
I'd die in Florida wearing any colored shirt. Except now. Now's our beautiful season. It's been 60 all week.
Yeah.
Oh, like a high of 60 and a low of 39.
60 is considered winter.
I know.
Disgusting. I had snow on the ground 3 days ago. Anyway.
Exactly.
I would love snow on the ground. You guys want to switch? I'll switch with you.
I do.
Yes.
Because you love snow. You Southerners love snow until you have to shovel.
Yes.
I don't care.
I've shoveled like 3 days in a row one time. It was I remember it was like the wind. I remember it was like 21 maybe.
Yeah.
February. It snowed like every other day. I used to go out shoveling every day. I'm like, it's just terrible. I hate this.
You love those cancellations from school until you realize you got to make up all of them in late June, and you're in school until the last week of June, and then you're miserable.
Oh, dude, I know. I don't
sitting inside rooms without AC. It's just like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I know exactly what you got. I don't get snow. I get hurricane days, but yeah, hurricane days are fun until yes, you have to make up the days.
Yeah, okay. Staying in your basement all day trying to.
Hey, we don't have basements down here, dude.
That's right. That's another reason why I would never want to. Anyway,
you dig like few feet into the ground. You hit water here. We don't have basements in Florida unless you got like a high rise.
I'm in my basement like right now.
Yeah, I typically film in my basement.
I'm in my bedroom. No basement here, boys.
Nutty.
Too far below sea level. Fucking hit water so you can dig a foot into the ground.
Are we ready? Are we ready to talk about what the people have come here for?
Yeah, no more rambling about weather and where we live. Let's get this natty going.
It's Natty Championship.
We're gonna leak all our addresses in the chat.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Ohio State, Notre Dame for the national championship, and this is going to be a fun one. This is going to be, in my opinion, the best one we have seen since 2017. I don't know if that's insane for me to think, but we have had way too many predictable outcomes. Alabama in 2020, Michigan last year, Georgia in 2022 and 2021, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah.
Way too predictable since the turn of the century here, or not the century, the decade. Way too predictable. We're trying to change that here, and I think this is finally the matchup that will end in that one possession nail biter.
Yeah,
it's just good we don't have Georgia or Bama in the national championship.
We don't have Georgia. We don't have Bama. Yeah, those are pretty much the primary two. We don't have LSU. No, these are two teams that deserved the right to be here, and two teams that haven't been here in about a decade or so. So these are two teams that are very hungry and want to assert themselves as a champion for the first time in quite a while. And for Notre Dame, it has been a long time since they've last won.
Yeah.
Ohio State's 2014.
Yep.
Notre
Dame's
84 or 94, something like that.
Oh,
they were in the Natty a couple years ago, though. I remember.
Yeah, they got beat by Bama, I think.
Yeah.
Bad.
Oh yeah, no. that was when Notre Dame had Manti Te'o, and they got absolutely smacked.
Yeah,
and
they were the number one seed then.
Well, here we go. You have a chance to, who's going to win their first title. Both of these teams getting their first taste of glory in about a decade. At least Ohio State has won one recently-ish, though it was with Urban Meyer. So who honestly cares about that?
Hey, without Urban, Florida doesn't have.
I know, but who cares about post-2009 Urban Meyer? No,
I don't. Oh no, I hate his guts now after he left us. But like the 06 and 08, I'll be grateful for that.
Oh, of course. Outside of that, screw him.
You got. This is quite honestly, this is the best outcome we could have gotten through the playoffs, in my opinion, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
because if the old format, neither of these teams make the Final Four in the old format. And that's also what I love about this 12 team is now we get teams who wouldn't get a chance. It's proven these two have been the best two teams throughout the entire playoffs. I've been riding Ohio State pretty much all since week 0, but I don't know, guys. Something I'm getting a leprechaun on my shoulder, if you will. So I'm excited for this one for sure. It's gonna be fun. I just want a good game, and we should get a good game.
You got a pick?
Who wants to go first?
Oh boy, I'll do my little preview here, if you will. I think if there is one defense in the country that can slow down the great two monster backfield in Notre Dame, it's probably Ohio State's. Georgia did a good job in containing their run game, and I expect Ohio State to do just about the same, if not even better. This is a secondary that Riley Leonard may struggle to throw against. That being said, I'm not too convinced. I think really Riley Leonard and Will Howard are relatively similar quarterbacks, just like last week with Riley Leonard and Drew Aller. So I think quarterbacks are roughly the same, and I think both defenses are primarily the same. So I expect a nail biter. It's going to come down to coaching, and at the end of the day, I think Freeman has done more than enough to at least put his team confident enough in winning this game. So it should be very interesting.
Oh, yeah. It is going to be. Hang on, I'm trying to find something real quick. Mike can go ahead if he wants to.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, I just say who I think is going to win and then do my explanation. So
fair enough.
Keeping with that thing, I'm going to Ohio State.
Yeah, I knew. You weren't the surprising one. Me and Lennon's like, who are we going to pick? You said you were confidently picking Ohio State over Oregon. That's when I knew you just were going to continue to pick them for as long as
I haven't been wrong since then.
You have not. You have not.
And like as I said in Texas, that you slowed down Jeremiah Smith, great. You still lost the game. Like it's like you slow down Jeremiah Smith. Okay, they still have Emeka Mbuka. They still have Knorrs Jenkins and Trevion Henderson. You stop one,
Henderson kid.
You stop one. There's another right behind him. It's a never-ending trail of just playmakers. Then you go to the defense. I don't really know who's on the front seven. I can't think of like a name, but the front seven's great. And then after they kind of realized that Caleb Downs can play basically like a deep linebacker, like that, the defense is just unstoppable. And the front seven, obviously, Jack Sawyer, like basically sealed the game for Ohio State against Texas. And then if you want another sealing time, the Caleb Downs picked off the ball. Like the defensive playmakers everywhere, the offensive playmakers everywhere. Notre Dame's a good team. They have playmakers on both sides of the ball too, but I think Ohio State just has more. And they've shown they can do. To me, they've shown they can do more than Notre Dame can.
They can, and like Mike said, I mean, Ohio State has, you can neutralize one, but they have players on both sides of the football, and that's why they're the best team in college football. And I said they were week 0, like this team on paper, they looked really good, and they've performed really well. ESPN gives Ohio State 9.5 point favorite to beat Notre Dame.
That's
a bit high. That's a bit high, but.
I think that's a little bit high too. I've made up my decision quicker than I've ever made up a decision for any game before. I've basically said Ohio State was gonna win the national championship. I said Ohio State, Oregon, week 0. I said the Buckeyes were gonna win, and I've rode them pretty much all the way through here, except against Tennessee, which was stupid. But like I said. Yeah, but like I said, there's that. I got it's like a little leprechaun on my shoulder that keeps telling me to pick. I don't know what it is. Richmond. You know what, man? My record is kind of all over the place now, and just for fun, I'm still gonna. If Ohio State does win, I'm still gonna count that I got it right, even though I'm gonna pick.
Bogus. No, you don't actually.
Okay. All right, fine. Listen, I will do it. Give me the fighting leprechauns. I can't pick. I want to pick Notre Dame. I can't. I think it should be a good game. Ohio State's really good. I think Notre Dame can do enough to slow down everybody and make a few plays when they have to. Close game.
They showed that they can.
They have. Give me the Irish in this one, though. I think I got bit by the leprechaun right after the Penn State game, so I'm gonna ride with the Irish.
Oh God, I'm the difference maker. Ah, crap, I'm the difference maker.
Remember when we picked Notre Dame, Georgia? We both picked Notre Dame, and it worked out last time. That's all I'm gonna say.
And of course, I am no shame in saying it. Heading into this game, I am undoubtedly rooting for Notre Dame. I have no issue with saying that. Who do I pick, though? Well, I break down that, Ohio State probably realistically has more game-changing playmakers than Notre Dame, but right now I think Notre Dame has the slight edge coaching-wise. Running back battle's about the same. You have two very good running backs on Ohio State, two really good ones on Notre Dame. Quarterback matchup, relatively even. Both were transfers heading into this year. Riley Leonard coming from Duke and Will Howard coming from Kansas State, if I'm correct. And,
yes,
these are two quarterbacks that have succeeded spectacularly over the year. Will Howard, realistically, outside of his one little blunder against Oregon, which was a pretty big one, but he has bounced back nicely. A lot of people wrote off this Buckeyes team after losing to Michigan. Maybe not Mike, but me and Lennon, we were kind of starting towards we don't know what this team's going to do. But I kind of sensed, that Tennessee game was the path in the right direction for this offense to get back to clicking. It was. I felt like Notre Dame had a dominant first half against both Georgia and Indiana, but struggled in the second half. Complete vice versa last week. Struggled in the first half against Penn State, and then clutched it up in the second half, especially with the spectacular defensive performance. Oh, boy. 31-28 final score going to I hate saying it. The Ohio State University. Yuck.
All right. Only one rocking liar. All right. Remember, the last time these two played, September 23rd, 2023, instant classic. The Buckeyes won on the final second with a touchdown to win it 17-14.
Yep.
That was when Notre Dame they were in the green jerseys and they didn't have the number of defensive players on the field. Oh, they screwed that up.
Yeah, they did. Right. It was a 4th and short with 3 seconds left, and the Buckeyes get the game-winning touchdown. Yeah. Instant classic game.
The running back is still there.
This should be the.
Now you got me convinced Notre Dame's pissed off that happened, and now they want to go out and get revenge.
This game could not.
Wasn't Riley Leonard though.
True. Different teams, different quarterbacks. So
Jenkins is still there though.
Different quarterbacks who literally mirror each other in almost every aspect of their game. So
Leonard runs a bit more.
Yeah, Riley Leonard
runs a bit more.
Runs good.
I'm more confident. Yeah. I'll put it this way. I'm more confident with Leonard's playmaking ability and accuracy, but Will Howard, he's got a cannon, and if you give him time in the pocket, he's going to take a deep shot, and he's going to make you pay.
You will let that shit fly.
Yeah, so this is going to be good. Passing, short to medium pass game, I trust Riley Leonard. Long passing game, definitely trusting Howard more.
Oh, yeah, well, here we go. Boy. Two prestigious. You get, I hate to, Ohio State. You got two prestigious universities going for everything. So this should be Hopefully pretty good. Just no blowout. I just want a good, hard-fought game. That's all I want.
I've been back and forth all day. I'm referring to my notes, and I did, in fact, pick Ohio State earlier. You can't see it on my phone. Oh, there it is. I did pick Ohio State earlier. So I am going with ultimately what my gut's telling me. Even though, again, we'll be watching the game with Mike on Monday. It's going to be funny.
Oh.
Mike's going to be full Ohio State, and I'm going to be full Notre Dame. This is going to be funny. I don't know who Kyle's rooting for. I think he's going for Notre Dame, but
I'm not sure. I know he's going for. I knew he was going for Texas.
He was going for Texas because he picked them to win in this.
Well, he's
bracket.
in the chat.
I picked Oregon to win in my bracket.
Yeah, Kyle's in the chat. He said Grant didn't watch the OSU Final Four
game. I
So-
watched very little. I will not lie, but I did go back.
Yeah.
I saw the highlights. I did my prep.
He's been talking a lot about Riley Leonard, so I'm thinking Kyle's for the Irish.
He's going for Notre Dame. He did see Riley Leonard in person when Duke went to BC in 2022.
I am going to.
If only I did. I would have went with him that night if I didn't already have plans made. Unfortunate, but it's all right.
I'm going to out myself a little bit here. I didn't really watch much of the Georgia Notre Dame game.
So yeah, I watched both. So that made my decision easier. I'm gonna blow. It's gonna blow up. I'm gonna be so pissed if the Buckeyes win now because I picked from week 0. I said they were going to, but
and that don't count. Oh, I picked them from week 0, and you went under our post saying, "Who's that guy who said Ohio State was going to be in the Natty from week 0?" Well, anyway, they're 1 win away from the Natty, and then he proceeds to not pick them. Imagine me start the Super Bowl. Oh, I have the Lions winning the Super Bowl. Go check out playoff predictions video from last Saturday. I'm not gonna lie, I was Buffalo all year. I switched it to Kansas City last second. Now I have a Lions Chiefs Super Bowl. Neither here or there. I'm not gonna say the Lions win the Super Bowl all year, and then once it happens, I'm gonna go, "Oh, I'm gonna pick KC or Buffalo or Baltimore, whatever the hell makes it." No, you roll with your gut. You roll with your gut.
Okay, well, Kyle, you're in the chat. Just tell us who you're rooting for. You just said Mike loves 2 things: Miami and Ohio State football. So what?
Yeah, those would be. He's
not wrong though.
Not wrong at all. No, Mike has liked Ohio State from the beginning. I'm like, Mike, really? Why? I never liked Ohio State from the beginning ever. I like Will Howard though, and Henderson, and Jack Sawyer. I'd be happy for those 3 if they do end up winning.
What about the best receiver in college football?
I don't really care for Smith or Ibuka. I really don't. Kyle is picking.
I'm gonna name my kid Ibuka.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Thanks, Kyle.
Ibuka. It might be nice to him Ibuka because if the Jaguars trade up in the first round, they might be taking him. So I better be polite. I better be polite and not potentially rip on some future Jaguars. Okay, moving on to the transfer.
It's gonna become like the Jaguars announcer that someone's gonna pull up this clip. Like remember when your favorite Jaguars that said this?
Hey, you know what? I'm glad to say I was very thrilled with the Brian Thomas pick. He's not the player I wanted, but I certainly wasn't upset, and that has so far been a success. So I'm happy. Also, I typically don't like many LSU players transferring over to the NFL. Very few exceptions. Thomas, Burrow, I guess Leonard Fournette because of his time with the Jaguars. A lot of LSU players I don't really care for once they transfer to the NFL.
Justin Jefferson.
Chase Jefferson. But you have guys like OBJ. Sorry, Lennon. No. This is what Jarvis Landry. Is. Jarvis Landry was a Jaguar for 2 weeks. That was a drug trip. Anyways. On to the transfer portal. So there it is. Before we... Yeah, I know.
You just dipped.
Notre Dame. Lennon, you are the sole predictor of the Fighting Irish. Best of luck, sir. I certainly hope you are correct.
Hey, if the Irish win, I want to eat a big bowl of Lucky Charms. That's for sure.
Oh, do it. Advertise the hell out of Lucky Charms on this channel. Maybe we'll get some revenue.
Oh,
a man can dream. Man can dream.
Hey, I'm gonna rock with the leprechauns, baby. Let's go.
Let's go Poison Nut.
Right.
Boy,
Tree.
I love when the Ohio State mascot goes, punches himself in the head. It's so entertaining.
He's a great mascot.
Dude, he's funny. He's
Do you
funny.
remember what his name is?
The Nut. No, I don't.
No.
It's Brutus.
Yeah,
Brutus. Oh, I
Brutus,
think I
the
knew that.
Buckeye. I don't know what Notre Dame's leprechaun person is. I don't know what his name is. I think honestly I don't know what it is.
It's
I feel like
Rudy.
it's Lucky.
It's Rudy.
Oh, is it Lucky?
Rudy?
Rudy? Yeah,
I
right.
don't think it is. I'm referring to the movie
think
that
it's
Joe
Lucky.
Montana has.
Yeah, I think
since
it's
ruined
Lucky.
for me. That makes sense. Rudy was such a great movie. It was such a great story. And then Joe Montana
It's
goes
just
on
a
this
Yeah.
interview
Joe.
and absolutely blasts it. Yeah, none of what you saw in the movie was real. You know, he got a tackle with 5 seconds left in the game. We didn't carry him off the field because he was a bench warmer, and we all knew he was a bench warmer. I'm like, oh, okay, Joe. Hey, take a back seat, buddy. It's a
Let's
Yeah.
go
great
Montana.
movie.
We love you, Joe.
Yeah, the leprechaun for Notre Dame is just called the leprechaun.
It's just called The Leprechaun.
Yeah.
The bro.
You
I
tell
thought
me
the duck.
Celtics have more creative.
Yeah, or just like
calling the
organs,
mascot.
it does.
Anyway,
Bro. You guys at least like Miami's got Sebastian. You guys got fucking Albert.
Bastion,
Yeah.
Albert,
Brutus. What's
We-
the duck?
God,
Bro.
BC Eagle. Yeah, we love BC
Okay,
Eagle.
we gotta film a separate video just ranking the top whatever college mascots. We should.
Can I make fun of the Stanford tree?
That is
That is a great mascot.
that is a great. I'm with Mike. That is the best mascot.
No,
of all time. I don't care what-
It's great. I love
Plain-
that mascot.
Fine,
plain
make fun of
mascot.
Oklahoma State universities. Better.
Yeah,
Better.
true. Yeah, but listen, playing mascot mode on NCAA
Oh my God.
14 with the tree is the funniest thing in the world because
They
it's
catch
got
the
no
ball with
arm.
like their eye sockets.
Yeah, they just catch the ball in their mouth or with the eyes. It's just it's the greatest shit ever. Oh my god.
Oh boy. Oh
we need
boy. Speaking of which, I guess we should, while we're talking about video games, it was announced yesterday there will be an NCAA 26.
Yes.
Hopefully I'll have a 1X by then so I could actually
Hopefully they
play
add
it
mass-
and
hopefully
not
they
have to
add
play it
back-
on Mike's Xbox anyway.
I have a PlayStation, bro. Get it right.
PlayStation. PlayStation.
Look at the cover athlete already. Look at that.
Oh,
Yay.
DJ. Woo! Let's go, DJ.
I don't think it's gonna be
That's
DJ.
not confirmed.
I don't
though.
think it's
That's
going to
just
be
the Gator thing.
DJ. Although we
I have a-
respect.
It's gonna be the team that wins the national championship is
Yeah,
gonna be the cover.
Mhm. It's going to be a player from it's Jeremiah Smith or one of the Notre Dame players, the Irish one.
I feel like you also have to choose a player that isn't going to the NFL.
Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah, you gotta for Jeremiah Smith for Ohio State, but if Notre Dame wins, like, you gotta be careful. Like you can't pick
Isn't
a guy.
one of the running backs
who
like a
played with the
you
draft that was stuck. Yeah, I think so. Oh yeah, wait a minute. I think they could go Love, but is Love like a good enough player to like be on the cover of the game?
Kyle said Western Kentucky's Big Red is his favorite one. So
That is a pretty
that's
goofy
That's a
one.
good one.
Shout out to my favorite backup in the NFL, Bailey Zappi, who set
Yeah, the
record
Hilltop
in
list.
2021 for most.
Okay,
I'm
we got-
really gonna rank all 134 mascots.
Oh
Yes,
my
we should.
god!
Well, not every team has one, so but yeah, we definitely should at one point. But let's.
It takes so long to do.
I know. Well, yeah.
Get a
let's
tier list. Who looks cool? Who looks scary? Oh my god!
Alright,
We're going off a scary, the freaking Friars mascot.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! Don't go to a Providence Friars basketball game.
I think it's a big
Ever.
nightmare, dude.
Great atmosphere, but the second that mascot walks near me, I'm instantly creeped out.
Oh man, dude, what? We never followed the script correctly, but whatever. Let's go. We're having.
Well,
don't matter.
I'm trying to. I've been trying to move on to the transfer portal
Okay,
the
let's
last
go to
5 freaking minutes.
Okay, let's
Don't
transfer
do
to the
it.
transfer portal. Let's
This is
go.
the
Yeah,
football
let's
of this.
transfer to the transfer portal.
don't-
I see what we did there. First news of business. Ladies and gentlemen, he did what I told him to do. What did I say about Mekhi Hughes, bro? What did I say? that bowl game against Florida was going to be his last in a Green Wave uniform. I called it. I said, this man is getting a one-way ticket out of Tulane. He made a name for himself his first 2 years. He's finishing it out, and he is going to be a stud. And Oregon picks up by far the best running back in the transfer portal. He was actually ranked as the best player in the entire transfer portal when Oregon made this claim, and that was also a couple days before Carson Beck also entered the portal. So Oregon, they didn't have a tremendous run game this year. They heavily relied on Dylan Gabriel, but they have produced a lot of great running backs, Bucky Irving being the last one. Now they have Mekhi Hughes. I think he is going to succeed greatly. Now that he is in an offensive scheme, Dan Lanning, he's a very good offensive schemer. He's going to be behind a significantly better offensive line. I'm going to go out, and I'm going to make a risk. I guess the first bold prediction for the 25-26 college football campaign, Hughes gets over 1.5K rushing yards next year. Lock it in. Lock it in. This guy is special.
That's definitely doable, especially if Oregon gets lucky with their non-con games. So I'm not surprised. He's obviously going to shine at Oregon, but I was like, really, dude? That's the most predictable.
It was very predictable, and I was joking about Lennon about that. I'm like, oh, come on. But it's also it's Oregon's cool. Oregon's cool.
He is going to shine greatly in Eugene, Oregon. So who knows? But, yeah, no, I definitely could see that happening for him. If Oregon can retain the good offensive line, and I'm sure Dan Lanning will use him correctly too. So, no, this one wasn't surprised. I don't think any of the transfer portals we're talking about, I don't think we were surprised. Or I guess
I think there was one a little less surprising.
Yeah.
But it made Mike happy, so that's okay. I will say, with Trevor Etienne announcing he's going to the NFL draft today, do you think that Hughes made the right decision going to Oregon, or if he waited another week-ish, he could have potentially transferred to Georgia? I think he still made the right call regardless, but
he made the right call.
Thought. I think he made the right choice too.
I'm not just saying that as a Georgia hater. He legitimately made the right decision.
No, I think he did too.
He really did. And I know that's kind of could be a little bias coming from a Gator fan, but honestly, he made the right decision going to Oregon. So the SEC, listen, it's the toughest conference ever. That's why we only had 3 teams in, because we beat the hell out of each other during the regular season. So he can go. The Big Ten only got to worry about Ohio State. So that's literally Oregon and Ohio State are the Big Ten. Penn State, maybe, I guess, with Aller coming back now and St. Louis coming back. Maybe
Miami coming back in the ACC, hopefully. We get screwed over by the conference play.
Well, you got by far the best freaking roster now, so you went from having the best
we lost rest, bro,
to still having the best quarterback in the ACC, so not much to worry about.
We lost our best receiver, though.
Yeah, I know, rest, bro, but you'll be fine.
Yeah, and we mentioned Kyle a lot in this episode, but he also just texted in chat and if I think Mekhi Hughes is going to be Bucky Irving 2.0. I guess he could be.
Dude, I guess he could be, but I'd expect him to be just as good, if not even better, than Bucky. At least for Oregon. I don't know about the NFL, but at least for Oregon, yes.
If he gets drafted by Tampa Bay, then they're just like a clone.
Yeah.
I think he'll be a little bit better. I mean, Bucky Irving's cool. I really do like him a lot, but I think Mekhi Hughes would be a little bit better.
Oh, man, I just love Hughes' speed. He's been good. I've had my eye on him all year, dude. He's been letting know since week freaking 1. And when I was ranting and raving about him ahead of that Kansas State game back in week 3, I'm like, this guy is gonna be elite. What did I say? He ended up being the best player in some point of the transfer portal, so that was pretty good.
I forget what Green Wave game it was, but Grant's over here just like Mekhi Hughes, I'm like, bro, relax.
I'm not like, what the heck? I was on to something because he ended up being the best player in the transfer portal. And speaking of best transfer from the FCS, that would be South Dakota State quarterback Mark Grakowski, and he transferred to Iowa. He has 1 year left of eligibility. This is going to be interesting because he foregoed the chance to go into the NFL draft this year. He wants to play another year, and I agree and I disagree. He has been the best FCS quarterback over the past 3 years with the Jackrabbits, but also you're not playing great competition, so he wants to prove his draft stock and sign with this Big Ten team to potentially get more national recognition with the scouts and play better competition. My one problem with this is he went to Iowa. He went to running back central.
Yeah.
He's going to the place where you're only going to have max 18 to 22 pass attempts a game with a very good defense. So he probably won't be on the field much. But maybe he thinks all he needs is to, if I get a 15, 20 passing touchdown season, I'm good. I'm in the NFL draft next year. Okay. Not a bad idea. But, I think if I was him, you made the right call going to a higher prestige of Division I football. I just think if you really wanted to make a name for yourself, you would have probably gone elsewhere than Iowa. I probably would have went somewhere out west. I'm thinking I would have went to one of those schools like UCLA or Stanford, and I would have tried to compete for the starting job over there because you're going to be throwing the ball a lot more in those type of offensive schemes.
Yeah,
how much do you throw the ball in the FCS?
He's throwing the ball in the FCS, and he's been quite good. I think he has like close to 60 career touchdowns or something. So he's paid his dues. He's paid. I'm just saying,
like, if he threw 18 to 22 max in the FCS, he's not gonna go to a school. He's gonna throw like 35 and throw out his fucking shoulder.
Well, true. Exactly.
Yeah, maybe Iowa was the only FBS school to give him something. So
that could also be true. He's just kind of like, ooh.
So, I mean, I'm with Grant. Like, I totally it's great for him to make a name for himself, but have we looked at Iowa's offensive record the last 3 years? It hasn't been, or offensive stats the last 3 years. It hasn't been that good. So
it had Cooper DeJean though.
True.
Corner, but yes.
Hey, he's white though. He's white though. You gotta represent the white corners, bro.
Yeah. Listen, I think Cooper DeJean is like the only player on the Eagles I'd be happy for if they actually do miraculously win the Super Bowl. Cooper DeJean and Quinnion Mitchell. Only two people I'd be happy for. Other than that, screw them.
Yeah.
But
see, Grant, that's where we differ because I hate even like C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Florida legend on the Eagles. Hate that dude.
No, I do too. Well, okay, I don't like CJ because of the way how he treated the Lions fan base. That was
I don't like anybody who wears that ugly green. So I will never be happy for it.
But I'm also not a Giants fan, so I can get away with liking some Eagle players.
No, I have my Rams jersey front and center in my closet, ready to go for.
Don't worry, I'll be wearing my Rams jersey Sunday too.
I mean, he retired now, but like the only Eagle I like besides Cooper DeJean is LaShawn McCoy.
True. Yeah, he was cool too.
Shady's cool. I'm on the Brian Dawkins train. He's probably my favorite.
Oh yeah, B-Doc.
Love B-Doc. Anyways, like you have the floor because you're more happy than we are. So go ahead.
I mean, like we saw what this man did in Georgia. He might have tore his UCL in the game, but I mean. If it's not like a Tommy John surgery, if it's like the thing below that, basically the exact same thing that Brock Purdy had, he's gonna be basically doing what he did in Georgia. He's also going to go up against ACC teams, which is not their defenses are not good as the SEC.
Right.
And again, Kyle in chat said 60 touchdown season for Carson Beck. I don't know if he's gonna get 60, but I mean he could get close maybe.
Could get 30, 5, and you'll be a success.
Get halfway there. I mean, you got there's still, I forget his name, number 2 on Miami, the wide receiver. I mean, he's doing good. The tight end is still there. You got the running backs is Mark Fletcher Jr., who's basically just like a younger version of Damian Martinez. So if he starts to struggle because of his injury, we still have Mark Fletcher Jr. back there running the ball.
That's good.
So
didn't you guys get Chris Johnson Jr. too, or did he transfer? I forget.
Not 100% sure on that. I haven't been following the transfer portal that much. I'm just happy we got Carson back though, because like after Cam Ward left, I'm like, who the hell are we gonna get now? Some bum quarterback? Nope, we got Carson back.
You know, if Florida State wasn't so smooth, you could have gotten a certain former number 1. Okay, I'm not over it.
I don't want him. I don't want him.
Thomas,
I don't want him.
Stab BC in the back.
I don't want him. I don't want him.
Yeah, I know you don't want him. You don't want him. You don't. Because he's not that good.
I'd rather have Beck over him, bro, any day. Even with the fucking Tommy John surgery, I'll have him over Castellanos.
Matthew Scula, remember this guy? He made all that big deal about he's the first. Was the NIL a great idea? Was it not? He's the first example of that. The former UNLV senior quarterback has transferred to James Madison University. And surprisingly, as much as all the crap we gave UNLV and Scula to making this such a big deal, me and Lennon did say, listen, if he was to commit to a team in like dire need for a quarterback and it wasn't a top powerhouse team, we'd respect the decision. And sure enough, that's what he did going to James Madison, which I think is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to quickly comment on the Carson Beck thing. So, like, I hate that dude so much. So, like, when I heard he was leaving Georgia, I was like, yes, I don't get to play that anymore. And then I realized, wait, crap, his girlfriend plays on the Miami basketball team.
Oh, shit, wait, that's all.
And then I was like, oh, shit. And then I realized, oh, great, Florida plays Miami week 3. Yay, we get to play Carson Beck again. Yay. And so,
there you go. You know, I was texting Lennon, and before Lennon told me that, I was making all the Deion Sanders jokes you could think of. I was like, you can't fool me, Deion. You can't fool me with this NIL crap. Well, sure enough,
he still got freaking, like, you see Travis Hunter react to how much money Carson Beck got for his NIL deal at Miami?
It was like $300 million.
It's got to be quite a bit.
Yeah, he got so much money. Travis Hunter's reaction was actually hilarious. He was like, whoa, hold on, he got how much?
Yeah, people were like exaggerating. It's like this man got like $300 million.
Yeah, I saw $400 million, but I don't know if that's an accurate number or not. But yeah,
if he did, he's fucking set for life.
5 to 10 mil range, which, hey, if you go undrafted in the NFL, at least your bank account won't be suffering that badly.
I mean, Caleb Williams only got like 10 mil. This man getting 300 mil. He's set for fucking life.
Yeah, exactly. That's what anybody.
How much did Beck getting hurt impact his decision to take his name out of the draft and transfer to Miami? Do you think that had something to do with it, or you think
it had a little bit to do with it? But typically, if you know you're going to be, and Beck maybe not high, but Beck was going to be drafted this year.
Yeah.
Typically, you don't risk that chance. You could just go into rehab by like an NFL team. You could just do what Jordan Travis did this year on the Jets and just stay on the IR for as long as you need to.
Yeah.
So maybe I think it's more he didn't want to move on without his girl. I hate being that guy, and I hate putting it so bluntly. That's what happened. Because why would you forego the draft, especially if you just got injured? Cash in now.
Yeah.
Declare when you declare. You're already going to get drafted. Again, just take the Jordan Travis route. Unless you have a god-awful preseason, you are most likely being a backup or a third string in the NFL next year. And you'll be making I don't know.
Unless
Dak
Stafford
Prescott,
retires.
$2 million.
Or Geno.
Yeah,
What's up?
Unless Stafford or Geno retires.
true.
Yeah, I mean, if you get lucky, one of those older quarterbacks, or maybe a team like the Raiders, or they take a chance on you. What about the Saints? Maybe they move on from Derek Carr and they want to take a chance on you. If I'm Carson Beck, with all due respect to my girl, you always follow your dream first and foremost. That's what life's taught me, and so that's where I would have declared for the draft if I was back.
We can say all we want. Dude's dating a Cavender twin. He's winning that life, so he can have fun in Miami all he wants to. But
by the way, Kyle, there are significantly worse quarterbacks than Geno Smith. So I don't want to hear it. Anyways,
Kyle, I can list a few. All 4 quarterbacks who played for the Giants this year are fucking god. Drew Lock's okay, but yeah.
Even I can't throw Rodgers in the mix. He's worse than Geno.
Nah, Rodgers was actually okay this year.
No, he was not.
Yeah, he was.
Yes, he
No,
was. He did okay.
This is a college podcast. I'm not getting into this.
Yeah,
Listen, Aaron Rodgers, he wasn't good, but he wasn't bad. Done with that.
Me and Grant will team up on you off camera. So I mean, dude, I hate the way he left UNLV, but I mean, he didn't go to a powerhouse or a big powerhouse. He went to JMU, who's in dire need of a quarterback. So good for him. I hope he got his millions and millions of dollars for no reason. But
well, there you go. Oh my God! It's funny because Kyle said he was saying in the comments, he's like, he didn't get paid, and I was like, oh yeah, this was the guy who didn't get paid, and he started all that fluff, and then he said, screw UNLV for that. And my good buddy today in Sports Moments went under and said, nah, bro, he doesn't deserve it at all. Now, I will say, he did cause a lot of drama and attention for someone who only threw 6 touchdown passes. I hate being that guy. But for someone who went from a school like Holy Cross to I think he blew it out of proportion a little bit, but obviously if the school was not giving him the money they obviously, were expected to give him. I get the gripe, but again, man, this is what happens with the NIL deal. You think the transfer portal's bad? You have situations like this.
I mean, if the school offered him the set amount they're not giving, that's definitely on UNLV. But at the same time, this is why I don't like these kids getting paid like this, because it just causes so much. Like the fact that he literally quit, 3 weeks, 4 weeks
when they were 4-0 and ranked is a problem. He probably said, hey, we're ranked in the top 25. I'm getting media recognition. Yeah. I'm going to pull a fast one. That could have been his mindset.
I mean, UNLV made the Mountain West Championship game and not really competed, but they made the Mountain West Championship game. They were there. They made the Mountain West Championship
They were there. I mean, Boise State kind of slaughtered them, but they were there.
I will say this. I don't know if we ever talked about this. Dan Mullen going to UNLV is actually really great for them.
Yeah, I think that's going to do wonders.
He has no pressure from the Florida fans to do anything right. UNLV really doesn't. Okay, lay back and that you can call an offense. I will tell you that. If we all remember that's fine. I say it. If 2020 was a normal football year, Gators won the championship. I don't care what you say.
Also, screw Marco Wilson forever and always.
Well, we finally broke the shoe curse. Oh, thank Jesus.
Doesn't matter. The point is Marco Wilson's still in the NFL, and that still pisses me off. Anyway.
Oh, no, he got cut by the Steelers, I think, or wherever.
Or the Bengals. Yeah, he
got cut by the day after Florida beat LSU for the first time in 5 years. He got cut from the practice squad. It was the day after, which was so hilarious.
Irony, poetry.
I was at that game, by the way, the shoe throw game. I was there. That was not a good.
You sat in the rain for 3 hours just to see some doofus take off his cleat and chuck it.
I didn't even. I was in the concourse when it happened. I just remember hearing the loud boos, and I look back. I was like, "You motherfucker!" Because we probably would have held on and won that game too. Don't get me started. But yeah, dude, it's yeah.
Anyway, moving on. London, you came up with this question, and I loved the idea of taking a guessing game. Which head coach will win the national championship first? Your options are Dan Lanning of Oregon, Steve Sarkisian of Texas, Kalen DeBoer of Alabama, or the dreadful Brian Kelly of LSU. Well, that's the one coach I 100% will confirm will not win the championship. But definitely Lanning, Sarkisian, and DeBoer definitely up for debate, I think. So let's get into it. What are we thinking? You know, Texas made it further than Oregon, which may be surprising to some. Alabama, you know, they were probably the best team that missed the playoffs this year. They could potentially make it next year and go on a run. It's going to be interesting.
I think because I saw that poll on a college football page we follow, and I think I answered Sarkisian when I did the poll. I just think I laughed when I saw Brian Kelly, and I'm surprised he's got like 4%. I must have been the one LSU fan in the thing, but I just Texas is right there. They've been there. Oregon's also right. If this was DeBoer's first year at Alabama, and everybody's starting to write him off. I said, dude, let him get his system in. Right? He has pretty much most of the players who stayed were all Saban's players. He didn't really get to recruit that much. Now he's got a full offseason to recruit. So maybe he can get Bama. I mean, I hope he doesn't get Bama back. But right now it's Dan Lanning or Steve Sarkisian, and I think it'll be Texas with Arch Manning coming up. I don't know who Oregon has as quarterback next year. So right now I would say if I would pick Texas with Arch Manning right now, but that's me. But it's
I'm trying to think who would be a potential option for Oregon. I mean, I'm sure they have. If they have not attacked a quarterback in the transfer portal, so I'm assuming it's going to be someone that they've developed. And obviously, I don't really know who their backups would be. I think they had a 5-star recruit, but he might be heading into his freshman year or his sophomore. So I don't know if they're going to throw him out yet. And because of that, I'm going to go with Steve Sarkisian as well. Heading into this year, 100% would have said Dan Lanning, not even a question, because Dylan Gabriel and a good chunk of that offense has already declared for the NFL draft. I will go with Texas because, I mean, they're just like Oregon. They're right there. They're contending. I think if Texas and Oregon don't take advantage of their current rosters, then I think definitely DeBoer and Alabama has a shot because I think Alabama realistically makes the playoffs. I think realistically, as long as DeBoer keeps that team afloat and they at least make a couple of playoff appearances, he's probably going to stay there for a while. And because of Alabama's reputation, they're always going to get the top recruits and the top transfer portal guys. So for now, give me Sarkisian, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I'm going DeBoer. I think Bama.
Oh, okay. Like it.
I mean, it's just people are saying the SEC is losing their grip on the powerhouse or winning the national championship, but they're still the SEC. They're always going to be the best conference in the football world, and Bama and Georgia are always the top 2 teams in the SEC. So they're most likely always going to make the playoffs. So there always is going to be a chance for them to win the national championship. Yes, Oregon and Texas have been right there, but this is the only year that Bama really has not been right there. And that's it. This is the only year they have not been right there. And that's just because of conference play and weird SEC championship games and stuff. If they change up how they do the 12th thing where they kind of just rank everyone, they would be in it this year. And so, I mean, again, Bama's Bama. They're going to win it sooner or later.
Yeah.
Sad but true.
Okay. This is the last time I interrupt for an NFL thing, but my Eagles friend just texted me this. I guess Eagles cornerback Isaiah Rodgers is going to wear SpongeBob and Patrick cleats Sunday for the divisional game for the Ram.
Didn't he get suspended for gambling?
I think so.
Yeah.
But he's going to rock it.
I'm like, wait a minute.
There's gonna be some bet being like, if he scores a touchdown, what shoe is gonna go in first? The SpongeBob or the kayak?
Which character will I step into first? I don't know.
To start Patrick or SpongeBob? Let's see.
Plankton. Guys, Mrs. Puff. Put the over on Mrs. Puff.
He's gambling on how many dumb things Patrick Star is going to say.
Yeah, probably. or you could place a bet on how many tush pushes will occur on Sunday.
Hopefully
zero.
One too many. Hopefully zero.
One is too many.
If the Eagles were to do that, you would have to do an over-under of like 4.5 every single game.
That play should be banned. It's a rugby play, not a football play.
It shouldn't be.
It should.
We're not going in another.
It is a rugby play, and you will anything that goes. Yeah, exactly, Kyle. I agree.
I do agree. 100%. However,
I agree 100%, Kyle.
I think you should be able to do the play one time.
Yeah, one per game. That's fine.
One per game.
Yeah, you can't just no. Like, it's stupid. It's the dumbest ever. Whatever. Okay, let's finish up.
Moving on to
when you're outnumbered here,
people actually like around here, and that being the Chargers and Gunnar Rivers, son of Lee Phillip. Oh my God, one of his 11 children. They're already ready to play college football. I can't believe it.
Dude has so many fucking kids.
He's got way too many. Him and his wife shout out. My God. Christmas, Thanksgiving, holidays must be hell.
I mean, they got the money for it, though. So
Rivers,
They're also
receiving offers from NC State and Auburn. He is a 5-star recruit. And I want to point out the fact that he is a 5-star recruit. It's showing nepotism doesn't necessarily exist. And if you actually earn your way onto a college scholarship, you were doing a damn good job. Shout out to Gunnar. Right now, NC State and Auburn are the two favorites. I'm going to go Auburn here if these end up being the last two schools. I think he ultimately commits to Auburn. Just a more well-known school, although I do think in the NC State he'd be a starter much quicker. Maybe he'd start his sophomore year instead of his junior. I think for Auburn he'd obviously have to wait a little bit, but still too early to tell, of course. He is graduating in the class of 2027.
I'm going to say Auburn as well. Do I have to go over the list of North Carolina schools again? Because it's Duke, UNC, and then it's NC State. It's like way down here off camera. So
exactly. It's Boston College, and then it goes UMass, and then it goes all the Ivy schools.
Did you put UMass above UConn? I guess no. Okay, no. UConn. I guess Connecticut's not Boston, but you guys are close enough to be.
Okay, fine. New England, Boston College, UConn, New Hampshire, and UMass.
I get Connecticut and Boston mixed up so many times. It's just I think they're basically the same.
One is a lot smaller than the other.
I know, but they all have all the people.
Oh my God! You don't care about the Northeast. That shows you're not from the Northeast if you don't care. If you think, Rhode Island's just Connecticut. Yeah, no.
Rhode Island is the home of Family Guy.
Mass. No.
Connecticut and New England are the only Mass and Connecticut.
We're in New England, dude.
I know.
So why'd you say Connecticut and New England?
They're all the same. They're all the same to me. You all talk the same. It's you all have the annoying Boston accent.
We stretch out our R's. Grant doesn't say them.
I typically don't say the R and Ka.
Yeah, I say car.
No.
I stretch out my R.
Whatever. It's two of the same, but. Oh man. This is a good one. This last full episode is going great.
Oh my God. Last topics of the day. I don't know whether I'm happy or sad about that. Gridiron declares for the draft. Drew Aller stays for his senior year. Quick thoughts. What are we thinking? I think Ewers did the right thing, even though his draft stock fell. I think he made the right decision. As for Aller, you can make the case that, well, he's probably going to be drafted in the 5th or 6th round if he declared this year. He knows it's a heavy quarterback class. Next year, not looking like a heavy one at all. So I think Aller's hoping to cash in on a strong performance next year for his senior year and hopefully be a 1st or 2nd round pick next year. That's what I'm assuming Aller's trying to do.
Yeah. No, Ewers definitely made the right choice. I mean, he literally threw away his draft stuff. He went from number 1 to number 5 within 2 weeks. It was just, I still think he'll get taken pretty high, but like he can't afford to come back. And Texas is ready to move on, I think. I mean, if he comes back,
maybe doing that to Archie, having him wait another year. That would be
even then, like if Ewers did come back, would Manning enter the transfer portal? Like how would that affect things? I think it was for the sake of Ewers in Texas, I think Ewers made the right decision. Aller made the right decision as well. Now, if Penn State can return, a lot of people, Singleton will be coming back. Penn State's going to be a sneaky team again to watch in the Big Ten if they can return at least half of their starters next year. So, Aller did right. Ewers did right. Now we kind of see where we put them in our mock draft in March. But
yeah, it's going to be interesting because – what did we do last year? The first 3 rounds, and then we went on and talked about corners and just other players that
No, I think we just did the first round.
Did we?
Yeah, I think we just did the
first.
But
then we talked about other draft picks we didn't pick, and we talked about that.
I don't remember. I'd have to go back.
I remember we said Ricky Pearsall, 3rd round pick. He ended up being a first, but I remember even though we didn't use him in our mock draft, we were oh, he's gonna get drafted.
Okay, Kyle, that's a bold statement. But
it's a very bold statement. I love it, though. I love it. I threw him on the Dart hype over Ewers. Absolutely.
There's a reason his last name is Dart. He's throwing them all the time.
Okay, when are we having Kyle on the podcast? So, real talk. We got to get him actually on this thing.
I've asked.
Kyle, you gotta educate us on the great UConn football program.
Oh, don't let him do that. You think me with Boston College is annoying? Uh-oh. Bring him on. Let him talk about UConn.
Let's say Drew joined us and we had Kyle too. How long would that episode go with all 5 of us?
Oh no. The hour episode would just be them arguing.
Dude, me and Drew argued.
You and Drew argued over Lagway and Mertz
for 15 minutes.
Yeah, we're in trouble. Drew would be I'm not gonna let you disrespect the great. I'm not gonna sit here and have you lecture about blah 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 about UConn and about the Great American Conference or whatever. Oh my God, he would go off.
It would make for great entertainment, but it freaking be a 3-hour long fucking video.
We did ask Drew this week. We wanted Drew to come on. He is busy. He's honestly practicing. He's already prepping for baseball season. So, Drew, we wish you the best of luck this year. Heading into what is sophomore year of high school, I believe. So. Or junior?
Jesus, sophomore now.
Sophomore?
I think he's fuck. I should know that. He's my best friend.
You should. Jesus.
He's trying to. I think he'll be a junior
next
How
year.
old is he?
Next year. He's fuck.
Well, Drew, best of luck practicing
age?
The pitching. You're gonna do great.
He does. He's so good. He's taller than me, and I'm 5'11". That shit. He's older. He definitely looks older than you. I think he's 16.
Damn.
Because he was born in 08, and my cousin was also born in 08.
Born in 08. Oh,
we're 4 years older than
someone
him.
who's born in 08. Oh, my God.
I know. 04 gang, best gang. So 04.
When Miami won the national championship.
Oh, be quiet.
Hey,
Get out of here.
you brought it up. You brought up the year.
Don't sleep on Stanley Cup winning New York Rangers legend Martin St. Louis winning a Stanley Cup with the Lightning. Yeah, everyone forgets about that one. The Lightning won the Cup in 04, but no one talks about that one.
They really don't.
They really don't. Recency bias does terrible things to people.
I still think 1994 was a good year for hockey, too, though.
Yep. Uh-huh. Agree.
Oh, man, we're so bad this year.
Yo, if Sam was watching this, he would come in the chat. Yo, what about 2011? Like, no. Stop.
Yes, I agree. 2011 was the last time I experienced happiness watching hockey. Sports in general. Okay. 2018 technically for sports because Red Sox World Series, but yeah, man, the Mets and the Jaguars, they don't give me anything to cheer for.
You got Juan Soto, bro.
Okay, the Mets are okay now, but
yeah, all that just to finish behind the Phillies. Oh my God.
Beat the Phillies and the Brewers. And I guess before we do wrap up this broadcast, rest in peace to the great Bob Uecker. 90 years old, 51 years as broadcaster for the Milwaukee Brewers. He was also a 1964 World Series champion with the St. Louis Cardinals. So rest in peace to the great Bob Uecker, of course, mostly known as not only the broadcaster for the Brewers, but the iconic voice in the regional major league back in, what was it, 88, I believe, 1988 was when that one came out. So shout out to the great Bob Uecker, 90 years old, passed away today. Thoughts and prayers to the Uecker family. As we are just about to wrap things up here, Campus Gridiron Season 2, Episode 21. All right, well, Kyle, you're going to be in for a fun time on Monday because I'm going to be full Notre Dame and Mike's going to be full Ohio State. It's going to be funny.
Hey, I might have to.
Picking Ohio State, Lennon going with the Lucky Leprechaun. Should be interesting, and it should hopefully be a great game.
Hey, I might got to call in and join your Buffalo Wild Wings table.
Please do. Please do. You can see me eat you can see Mike eat the spiciest wings, not be affected by it. I'll take a bite out of one, and then my entire face will turn red. It's going to be funny.
I don't do spicy food either, man.
Do you have the video of us all trying the spiciest sauce?
No, but I got the picture.
Dude, it's like you got me and Brendan sitting there like,
dude,
this is spicy. I mean, it's got spiciness to it, but it's okay. And then everyone else at the table's like, We're like, bro, what is happening?
Yeah, I'm with Grant. I can't do spicy food.
No, I love spicy food, but there comes to a point where it's too spicy.
No flavor, it's just spicy.
It's too spicy, I don't like it.
That's the thing that I have. Like, whatever you give me, I can always taste the flavor in it, no matter what it is. But there's people like you and Grant and Kyle and Sam who are like, there's no flavor to it. It's just spice.
Yeah. Dude, the Flamin' Hot Mountain Dew is still the worst one I ever drank.
That one, a spicy drink to me does not taste good, though.
Dude, it was code red with like a burn in the back of your throat.
Yeah.
That's all it was. It was so bad. And then they had, this is bad.
I'm not saying it affected me with the spice. It just didn't taste good.
It just didn't taste
is what
good.
you're telling me. It was the Mountain Dew version of whiskey.
I mean, I've never had whiskey, but yeah, sure, I guess.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up. Next week,
Until we're 20, talk about alcohol.
Championship. We will be... What?
I think everyone in this group, we're all 20. We're talking about alcohol.
Hey, no, we'll let the cat out of the bag.
Mike, no, dude, we're all 21. What you mean?
What you mean?
Hey, we all turned 21 this year. So
March right around the corner. You're in June, right, Lennon?
July.
April.
Me and you were kind of close. Poor Mike. He always has his birthday right before
Grant Kyle's calling the cops on you.
This channel is about to get taken down if we don't end this now. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy national championships. Stay safe. Stay safe. Don't, if you're gonna watch it at a restaurant like what me and Mike are doing, great. Have fun. Don't get in trouble. Don't throw a chair if your favorite team loses. Don't be Morgan Wallen. Be nice.
Hey, I ain't taking the Morgan Wallen.
I love Morgan Wallen too. That's why I'm making fun of him. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the national championship. Ohio State, Notre Dame, Monday at 7:30.